The name MeTURA comes from a one-of-a-kind butterfly. It is black and yellow in color, hairier than most, and can be hard to spot in the wild. Butterflies symbolize transformation, a long and healthy life, and that is why it was chosen for the symbol of the MeTURA project, Back to the Roots. The project is primarily aimed at adult family members with intellectual disabilities and their families and explores new, innovative, lifelong learning opportunities for them. Partners in the project include the Education Center Geos, Slovenia, Center for Creative Development Danilo Dolci, Italy, the Slovenian Association for Those with Intellectual Disabilities, Slovenia, Association of Persons with Disabilities of Karlovac County, Croatia, and Thrive, the Society for Horticultural Therapy, United Kingdom. They have combined their expertise and knowledge in the field of lifelong learning and in the field of working with people with intellectual disabilities and have developed methodology and andragogic material for the implementation of the family-guided process of therapeutic gardening and therapeutic cooking. The aim of the project is to improve the quality of life for adult family members with intellectual disabilities by involving them in lifelong learning activities. As research shows, most adults with intellectual disabilities live at home with their families, and it is these families that would benefit from being involved in lifelong learning activities tailored to their needs. Within the project, we focused on gardening and cooking, as these are activities that satisfy basic human needs, nutrition, and in which many of us take part in on a daily basis. By carrying out these activities as a part of a guided process and with predetermined goals, we can achieve results that positively impact the increased independence of people with intellectual disabilities and the acquisition of key competences, basic knowledge, and skills. These activities are described as therapeutic gardening and therapeutic cooking. The project began by conducting research to determine the needs of our target groups. Based on the results, methodology Family Education MeTURA-Back to the Roots for families with adult members with intellectual disabilities was developed, along with andragogic material that offers practical tips, advice, activity sheets for implementation of therapeutic gardening and therapeutic cooking. The results were shared at national conferences that were organized in all partner countries and as well on national workshops. Methodology Family Education MeTURA-Back to the Roots for families with adult family members with intellectual disabilities is a set of methods, best practices that can be applied in the teaching process of adult persons with intellectual disabilities. It applies to the activities of therapeutic gardening and therapeutic cooking. These activities are suitable for gaining concrete survival skills that one needs when living or trying to live independently as much as possible. Objective of the methodology is to enable andragogy process for adult family members with intellectual disabilities and their family members in the accessible environment of the family garden and kitchen. This kind of andragogy process allows flexibility in adapting to individual needs, conditions, and potentials of targeted learning families and adult family members with intellectual disabilities, and allows the possibility of implementing lifelong learning as a guided education or self-education in the home environment. Elements of the methodology include methods, ways of motivation, integration of families and adult family members with intellectual disabilities in the activities of lifelong learning, competences of mentors and educators, how do we deliver therapeutic gardening and therapeutic cooking, and ways of transferring knowledge and learning within the family. Target groups are educators, adult family members with intellectual disabilities, and parents and family members that assume the role of an educator for adult family member with intellectual disabilities in the home environment. Methodology consists of two parts. First part is intended for educators, and it includes ways of motivation, integration of families and persons with intellectual disabilities in therapeutic gardening and cooking activities. It defines competences of mentors, way of initial and final evaluation of knowledge, and processes for individualization and personalization of learning. Second part of the methodology is intended for family self-education. This section is adapted to adult family members with intellectual disabilities and their family members with an emphasized illustration strategy so that family members or educators can motivate adult family members with intellectual disabilities for learning while offering them professional support in the implementation of family MeTURA education in the home environment. In this lifelong process, a family member acts as an educator. Andragogic material for the implementation of MeTURA-Back to the Roots provides practical guidance and support in how to carry out therapeutic gardening and therapeutic cooking in the home environment. This material will come in handy if you wish to start practicing therapeutic gardening and therapeutic cooking, if you work with an individual with intellectual disabilities, or you have a family member with intellectual disabilities. You may be already practicing gardening and cooking activities together with your family member with intellectual disabilities or within your organization, or you have tried using these activities within your work. You may be hoping for answers, tips, models, and resources, and this andragogic resource aims to provide them. The material is divided into two parts. The first part is to be used by educators or family members who will act as a mentor when carrying out therapeutic gardening and therapeutic cooking tasks. It includes activity sheets for conducting gardening and cooking activities, and activities that go along with gardening and cooking activities and are designed in a way to improve the basic skill and knowledge of those with intellectual disabilities. The following chapter includes an evaluation grid for determining the level of knowledge, competences, prior and after taking part in activities of therapeutic gardening and cooking. The second part is written in easy-to-read format, and it is intended to be used by the learners, those with intellectual disabilities, with the help of those supporting them. It includes recipe sheets for gardening. These are step-by-step instructions how to carry out a certain task in the garden, and cooking recipes in easy to read. Therapeutic gardening. Why gardening is good? Gardening offers time in nature, which can allow those with intellectual disabilities to better engage in social activity as well as the activities necessary to grow fruit and vegetables. Let us have a look at how each of these can positively impact those accessing gardening within their lives. Time in nature. Access to green spaces and the outside can be hugely beneficial for those growing produce. To have space to enjoy natural environments, move away from the stresses of the modern world, and allow yourself to slow down is beneficial to health and supports learning. Social time. Gardening provides an opportunity for social contact and teamwork amongst others interested in growing food themselves, whether it be exchanging of growing tips or plants. Adults with intellectual disabilities can develop skills and knowledge from those that share the same enthusiasm in what they do. Activity. Whether it be digging over a bed, planting or sowing seeds, gardening activities support physical and cognitive development. Gardening activities engage our thinking skills in a non-pressured, exploratory way, enabling those who find traditional learning environments difficult to learn effectively. Learning opportunities. Gardening provides plenty of opportunities for learning. counting and estimation are explored when planting seeds and measuring out distance for planting. The same physical motor skills developed from holding a seed may also help to hold a pen when it comes to writing out labels, and reading skills will be improved from instructions provided on seed pockets and gardening books. There is also endless wider learning that can be highlighted or incorporated into gardening. For example, there is biology present in the growing of seeds and physics to be discovered in how pots maintain water levels. We can also look to the vegetables themselves to find where in the world they originated from and how they arrived at our own shores to explore history and geography. There is creative thinking possible in the garden also, whether that can be in making bird feeders, deciding how to stake your beans, or using the garden and vegetables in it as inspiration for painting or craft activities. Gardening offers activity and learning with a huge reward attached. How supporters of those with intellectual disabilities can use gardening. At home, encourage the journey made from produce grown in the garden through the kitchen and onto the plate. It may well be that many things, such as a ripe strawberry, are consumed outside before they have a chance to be cooked or prepared. Family members will have a good idea of what activities or interests would draw those they live with outside. Whether it can be encouraging someone who enjoys to water new seedlings or allowing an individual who tends to want precision in their lives to sow a neat row of carrots to pick later. Personal insight can help make that important connection between a family member and the outside space. In education, there are a lot of educational goals that can be achieved in a garden space, and you can use your imagination to realize them. Gardening is broad, and most likely there are information about the fruit and vegetables you are growing that someone you're working with will be able to enlighten you on too. In social services, through a variety of gardening tasks, people can develop confidence, agency, and independent living skills. The rich range of activities in gardening supports both physical and cognitive skills that transfer to skills enabling people to carry out activities of daily living. From making choices and understanding the impact of their decisions on the plants they grow, people can become more comfortable making choices about their own lives. Through their success in caring and nurturing other life, they feel confident that they have a purpose and make an impact on the world around them. Therapeutic cooking. For some, cooking is a daily chore, a social experience, or an entertaining leisure activity. For others, cooking is therapeutic. Therapeutic cooking is the process of cooking and preparing food to improve physical and mental well-being, promote learning and skills development, and improve social inclusion and community engagement. That is, in the process of engaging individuals in cooking and meal preparation with the support of educators to achieve specific therapeutic goals over a period of time with expected learning outcomes. What knowledge and skills are required by the learners, with elements of monitoring and evaluation. Therapeutic cooking covers the process of cooking and a variety of cooking-related activities, such as harvesting fruits from your own garden, buying groceries, the use of utensils and kitchen appliances, planning and preparing your meals. Therapeutic cooking uses the kitchen as a safe place to develop one's ability to socialize and learn practical skills that will help them become more independent. Using culinary tasks, educators evaluate and design a range of activities for individuals to improve their competences and work toward the specific goals they want to achieve. Benefits of therapeutic cooking are getting to know food and food preparation and developing a healthy attitude towards food. Cooking is part of therapy for eating disorders, mental development disorders, mental health problems, attention and hyperactivity disorders, depression, anxiety, and other disorders. It's a learning valuable life skill, stress relief. Cooking can be used for improving social skills, learning balance and coordination, sensory awareness. It gives you ability to plan and organize and helps get better attention and focus. By participating in therapeutic cooking, adults with intellectual disabilities can acquire and develop the following knowledge and skills: communication skills, making choices, taking responsibility, awareness of oneself and one's body, creativity, emotional expression and adjustment, interaction with others, teamwork and togetherness, accepting support, time management. As part of family education MeTURA-Back to the Roots, therapeutic cooking for adult family members with intellectual disabilities is an active, guided process of learning by doing, with the appropriate support of educators and family members in a home environment that aims to increase the independence and self-realization of adult family members with intellectual disabilities and creating better connections between family members and enhancing an individual's competences. Methodology and andragogic material were developed to help educators in conducting therapeutic cooking, as well as the recipes in easy to read. Learning basic skills and knowledge through gardening and cooking. As the European Commission report states, key competences and basic skills are a combination of knowledge, skills, and attitude. Knowledge is made of the concept, facts, ideas, and theories which are already established and support the understanding of a certain area or subject. Skills are defined as the ability to carry out processes and use the existing knowledge to achieve results. Attitudes describe the disposition and mindset to act or react to ideas, people, or situations. The key competences are developed through life, through formal, non-formal, and informal learning in different environments, including family, school, workplace, neighborhood, and other communities. Activities of therapeutic gardening and therapeutic cooking can be beneficial for gaining and upgrading key competences and basic skills, especially in literacy, mathematics and science, personal and social competency and developed ability to learn, entrepreneurship, cultural awareness and expression. Within the project, we have gathered activities and developed activity sheets which can be used by the mentor, parents, and family members to guide their adult family member with intellectual disabilities through the activity. Activity sheets provide a description of the activity, information of what is needed to carry out the activity, how long it takes, what will be learned during the activity, and which gardening and cooking process this activity leads on to.
The activity I'm going to do here for you is I'm going to pot up a plant. So I'm going to take this plant out of the smaller pot and put it into a big pot to give it more room to grow. Just wave and put your thumb up to mark if you're able to hear me still. Thumbs up. Perfect. Okay. So the first step we will have done is collected all of our materials. So often, almost every activity begins with a step that might be something like collect everything you need, okay? And sometimes that step of the task is one of the most complex. So to collect all we needed here, we needed some strength and some grip to take compost out of a bin and place it into our tray here, okay? We needed some memory in order to be able to know where to go and get these empty pots. And we also need some horticultural knowledge to understand when a plant could benefit from being potted up, okay? Now this is the wrong time of the year for potting up, but it's an indoor activity, so it's the one I've chosen to show you. But hopefully it'll work fine. At the moment, if you can see that, there aren't too many roots showing through the bottom of the pot, which means that actually this plant is still okay in this smaller pot, but we're gonna pot it up a bit prematurely just to go through the process. So, step 1, collect everything you need. Step 2, prepare your workstation. So arrange yourself to make the task easy. And again, this requires a reasonable amount of cognitive skills and maybe little bits of movement of our arms and so on. So that's step 1 and then step 2. See if you can now begin to write down the different steps I do.